All right, let's talk about healthy eating. For something that should be so simple, it can feel, well, super confusing, right? Today, we're going to break down what it really means to eat healthy and hopefully make it all a whole lot clearer. You know how it is. One minute you read that coffee is a miracle drink, the next it's terrible for you. Carbs are evil. No, wait, you need carbs for energy. It honestly feels like you need a PhD just to figure out what to have for lunch. If you've ever felt that way, trust me, you are not alone. And let's be real for a second. There's this huge gap between the super strict advice we get and what's actually going through our minds. We hear you have to eat kale, but a lot of us are thinking this stuff tastes like disappointment. Or an expert says cut all carbs, and our brain just flashes to a beautiful warm loaf of bread. So, our mission here is simple. We're going to push aside all the fads, all the crazy headlines, and all the noise. We're going to find what actually matters and build a simple, practical guide to eating well that fits into your actual, real life. So let's start with the foundation, the absolute basics. Let's talk about the what, as in, what are the things our bodies actually need to run properly? It all boils down to this one word you've probably heard a million times: macronutrients. I know, it sounds like a big scary science term, but it's not. It's just the name for the three main types of fuel your body uses: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. That's it, and each one has a really important job to do. First up, you've got protein. Think of protein as the construction crew for your body. It builds and repairs muscle, and it's a total powerhouse for keeping you feeling full. We're talking chicken, fish, beans, tofu. Then you have carbohydrates. These guys are your body's main source of get-up-and-go energy. And no, they aren't the enemy. The key is just picking quality ones, like from whole grains and veggies. And finally, healthy fats. Please do not skip the fats. Your brain and your hormones absolutely need them to function. This is the good stuff you find in avocados, nuts, and olive oil. So, what does this actually look like on a plate? Well, it can be super simple. It's kind of like a mix and match game. You just pick something from each of these columns. You could do grilled chicken for your protein, some quinoa for your carb, and a little drizzle of olive oil for that healthy fat. And boom, just like that, you've built a balanced, satisfying meal. All right, now for the fun part. Let's get into the what-ifs. This is where we're going to tackle some of the biggest, most stubborn myths about food that trip so many of us up. Oh, yeah, this one is a biggie. We hear it everywhere. We see it on every magazine cover. With all the low-carb diets out there, carbohydrates have basically been painted as the #1 villain in the world of food. But here's the real story. Your body literally needs carbs to function. It's our primary fuel source. The problem was never carbs themselves. It's always been about the type of carb and the portion size. So the key is to focus on quality. Things like veggies and whole grains that give you slow, steady energy. And then we've got this old relic of a myth, right? For decades, we were all told that eating fat leads directly to gaining fat. And that led to this whole explosion of low-fat products that, surprise, surprise, were often just loaded with sugar to make them taste good. Yeah, we now know that was, well, just flat out wrong. Healthy fats, like the ones in nuts, seeds, and avocados, are absolutely critical. They help you feel full and satisfied, which actually helps prevent overeating. And they're essential fuel for your brain. So, bottom line, don't fear fat, just choose the right kind. Okay, and we have to talk about the so-called superfoods. We've all felt that pressure, right? Like you have to force yourself to eat the latest trendy health food, even if you absolutely hate it. Well, I'm here to give you some amazing news. Yes, kale is super nutritious. But guess what? So is spinach. So is arugula. So are dozens of other vegetables. Being healthy is not about suffering. It's about finding the healthy foods that you genuinely, truly enjoy eating. Okay, so we know what to eat, and we've busted some major myths. But honestly, none of that information matters if we can't actually put it into practice. So that brings us to the most important section, the how-to. How do we make these healthy habits actually stick? I know, the phrase meal planning can sound so intimidating, like you need a spreadsheet and a 5-year plan. But let's simplify it. Just start with your protein, then add a veggie or two. Then finish it with a quality carb or a healthy fat. And you don't have to plan for the whole month. Seriously, just thinking about the next couple of days can be a total game changer. And you know what else can feel pretty intimidating? Burpees. Let's take a quick detour here. Have you ever wondered why pretty much everyone on Earth has a deep, passionate hatred for burpees? It actually tells us a lot about our mindset. The answer is so simple. We hate them because they're incredibly effective. They're hard because they combine strength and cardio and work your entire body at once. And that's the whole point. Just like choosing a salad over fries can feel hard in the moment, sometimes the things that challenge us are the very things that give us the best results. It's a great reminder that hard often just means it's working. And hey, speaking of simple things that make a huge difference, let's not forget about hydration. Seriously, just drinking enough water is one of the easiest and most powerful things you can do for your health. It impacts your energy, your digestion, everything. Aiming for around 8 glasses a day is a perfect place to start. You know, we can talk about proteins and planning and hydration all day long, but all of these habits are powered by one single thing, and that is your mindset. Having the right approach is what makes any of this actually stick for the long haul. I think the biggest mistake we all make is trying to change everything overnight. We try to go from 0 to 100, and it's a recipe for burnout. So instead, I want you to think smaller, like way smaller. Just pick one tiny, specific, achievable goal. Something like, I'm going to add one vegetable to my dinner every night this week. That's it. Success builds on success. And listen, you are going to fall off track. You're going to eat the pizza. You're going to skip the workout. It is going to happen because you're human. The most important thing is not to let one meal turn into a bad day or a bad week. Just be kind to yourself and get right back to it with your very next choice. If you take away only one thing from our time together, let it be this. This is not a test. Healthy eating is not about being perfect. It's a journey of making consistent progress, one small, good choice at a time. So that brings us to the end, and I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one small, simple change that you can commit to making today? Thanks so much for joining me.